Okay, Brian, of course, I'll be more than glad to go through this with you. Yes, I think artist, graphic designer, storyteller is really interesting. I think Design in Stories is a wonderful title. Not sure about the layout, though. The layout is centered, everything's symmetrical. Negative space is basically dead because everything is centered on the page. As we know as designers, that centering kind of kills your negative space. So, and it kind of just makes it a little more mundane than a alternative layout. So I would recommend thinking about really utilizing negative space here. Um, is there a reason that half the page is this color? And if so, what is that reason? Okay, so I'm thinking maybe if you take this, do something really cool with the typography here, all right? Then take all of this other type and maybe right down there or right down here. Okay, these are all grouped, right? These all have a relationship to one another. Brian DuPont, artist, graphic designer, storyteller. So why are they so far apart on the page? By proximity, they're not related on this page. By proximity, we want to create a relationship between them. So let's group them together. Okay, I would get rid of the two color page and just really concentrate on a really cool typographic composition for design and stories. You're doing a little bit with scale here with the S's, but I think that you can do a lot more. Think about scale with the ampersand and think about really do some research and try to get some visual interest going with the cover itself. S, T, O spaces are really wide. Kerning is too wide. RIES is too tight. Specifically the space between the R, the I, and the E. This S could be moved closer to the E, and all of these letters can definitely, from this space, and this space, could all be closed down a little bit. Right now, a little out of balance because of the density of the right side of the logo. It looks like it could topple over that way. Let's move to the spreads. Spreads look good. I was never a fan of these kind of gas tank kind of gauges of like, okay, so I'm really good in layout, but I'm not great in layout, but I'm kind of good, but I'm about this much out of this much. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I know it's really super trendy to do that right now, but to me, it never made a whole lot of sense. Now, this company is looking for infographics. I think this is your opportunity to really blow them away with a very super innovative way. Sleep on it. I don't know when your interview is, but I think sleep on it. Really think when you're painting and when you're at work, just really think about a way that you can show your skill level without using these really super generic kind of gauges or like gas tanks or, meters. It's so trendy right now. I prefer not to see it in portfolios. I prefer to see something much more innovative than that. Now these up here, teamwork, innovative, and learning. I want 10 out of 10 on anyone I hire. I want 10 out of 10. For that reason, I'd get rid of those completely unless you show them as 10 out of 10 or 9 or right up there. Don't be afraid to, man. You're a great learner. You're very innovative, and you're great at teamwork. Get that right up in there if you're going to show it like that. But again, it's another one of those gauge things. So that I think maybe there's another interesting way to present that. Think about that. Again, I don't know when your interview is, but I'll be more than glad to go through this again with you when you're if you take these comments into consideration. Right now, I'm on the first spread. We can see that you're out of alignment here, so your baselines don't line up. That's an issue. I noticed immediately without the guide. That's why I pulled the guide, because I let me grab that guide. Where's that guide? Oh, that guy doesn't want to behave. But there's the baseline on the left, and you can see it's a little out of line on the right. You've got logo design center aligned over here, but then the rest of your heads are left aligned. So to me, I think that's a little bit, I don't know. It's a little funky to me, I think. And the kerning here is so wide in order to fit the span of the text block because you want to center align it. So it's almost not natural. Okay, does that make sense? I would consider left aligning those and cleaning up the kerning on that. Nice relationship between the typefaces, though. I think that's really interesting. The work itself, this page, we'll get rid of that guy. This page, I think in portfolio, you want to show the work first and foremost, but you want to also show that you understand white space and layout. For that reason, I'm not real sure if this big type block over here might better be served as a smaller type block on each page. That way you can take your images and really use the grid to present images. Right now, you're only showing one image for this work. I'd like to see the digital, I'd like to see other live images. You know how to work the grid. I mean, but you don't want to fill the page. You want to definitely show your knowledge of white space, but you want to show enough of the work that it's you want to show the viewer enough of the work. Plus, you want to show that you know how to lay a page out using enough information, but not cluttering the page. Hope that makes sense. This almost is exactly what I'm talking about. This page is laid out very well. You're giving a lot of information in a nice package. But again, right over here, this page is, I think it's a little bit out of balance, because if we draw the center line, we come right here, and we can see that this as a spread seems to be kind of tilting this way, that we can circumvent that very easily, again, by going back to my first suggestion about moving this maybe somewhere, opening up this area to show more of the work. Portfolio reviewers and potential hiring professionals are going to want to see live shots of this. So it's your logo. Maybe you can develop a business card. Show us a business card. Show us a letterhead with the logo. Show us, you know what I'm saying? I mean, work some mock-ups here. This is good. What I would do here, I would recommend, this is really large on the page. I would reduce that size. I think there's some unusual white space right here and right here that are amplified. It's your logo. I mean, you know, unless you redesign it, I think that these are amplified with the size of the logo. So maybe reduce that. The nice thing about this, see these horizontal rules? I would get rid of those right now. And get rid of those, because what it's going to do is, and don't forget, a lot of this is opening the door for you to talk about the work in the interview. So the reason I would get rid of these is because this is showing that you have the ability to take a full color logo and also make a 2-color version out of that logo. Not full color, but you got 3 color here. And you know, can you reduce this to a 2-color logo for areas where you don't want to incur the cost for your client? And again, something to talk about. So you're sitting in front of the interviewer and you're saying, okay, well, in this version, I did this because for situations where the client doesn't have, the budget for the 3-color logo, so we developed a 2-color logo, et cetera, et cetera. Don't need to show this in all 3 sizes here, definitely. And you don't even really need to show your sizes, as long as you're showing the typeface. I think this page looks good. One thing I want to say about the first 4 pages I'm looking at is they're all very bottom heavy. All pages, you're not using the top third of the page, and it's really super obvious, because we get this really bottom heavy feeling towards this page. Now it's like feeling really super bottom heavy. Now you rectify that. Well, there's another page. You rectify that a little bit here, and I think that definitely helps. But you still have a big white space up top. So I would see how this page is kind of utilizing the space, I think, a little better. Excuse me. And this is what I'm talking about using the area to show you work. So I think on this page, we could even just think about the type down there and reducing the area of the type. So right now, the type effectively takes up that chunk right there, which kind of consumes the area below it, the area next to it, and to some extent, the area on top of it. So again, I think moving it down might open up the page and make it much more versatile. The work itself, I'm talking about layout first. So, okay. All right. So let's move to the work itself. Okay. Let's go through the work. These look good. Work looks good. I'd like to see some more versions of that. Digital versions. Maybe you show the business card again. Show what you got, man. It doesn't end with a logo. We know that. What's the logo? Logo is the first step of an identity package. So show the identity package. Show the letterhead. Show the business card. Show the envelope. Why not, right? It show the work in action. And you could even actually print these out, take them to your Kinko's, mock them up, print them out, and shoot them. So, shoot them or mock them up like this, like you've done here and here. These look fantastic. Okay. Page looks good, a little bottom heavy, as I said before. Again, a little bottom heavy. Other than that, looks good. This page looks fantastic, except for the bottom heavy again. This page needs more. You need to show more. If these are your illustrations, boy, that would be fantastic. I'm not sure if they are or not, but you kind of want to get in on here, move in on here, and show a little bit more. Are there more spreads? Do you have layout design? Can you show different spreads? Can you show some different 2-page spreads? You've got your Olympic thing. You can show that as 2-page spreads. And instead of saying Iron Magazine magazine spread, say layout design, and then just say magazine spread. Show this, show another layout for a different magazine, another layout for a different magazine, and of course make them fit the grid. This page I think looks really good. One thing I would say about this page is that this is unusual. This is pointing this way, this is pointing this way. So you're basically, in essence, asking your viewer to tilt their head to the left to look at that, and then tilt their head to the right and look at that. You don't want to do that. You don't want the viewer to have to move their head around. For that reason, I would try to assemble these so that they're kind of oriented in the same direction. I think that's got too much of a tilt on it. I wouldn't tilt it quite that much because the viewer literally has to tilt their head to look at it. And this definitely has too much of a tilt on it. So try to duplicate the background, mock them up so that they're almost at the same angle. Not doesn't have to be identical, but you definitely don't want to have to tilt your head to the left and tilt your head to the right. This page looks good. I would the typography here, it's not good. It's not good typography, and I'm going to tell you why. It's your word count is too short. You've got some lines with one word. You've got some lines with 2 words. You've got basically, I'd say your average character count here is probably maybe in the early 30s. This is begging for a 2-column type layout, not 3. So you'll increase your word lengths, because if they're looking for type, trust me, they're going to count the characters. They're going to see that you're not optimal. Optimal character count should be anywhere between, I'm going to say, roughly 49 and 70, and that includes spaces and punctuation as well. Okay, I don't know if you're going to want to recompose this, but that would be my recommendations there. Also, show some more spreads here. Definitely show you. If you got more spreads, show them. That the quotation right here, I mean, I think it's good, but do we need these rules here? Do we need these, or are they drawing unnecessary attention? The infographics, I think, are the strongest point of your presentation. This is good. I think it's really good that you're showing the infographic and dissecting it to show some close-ups. That's good. I think we're a little cluttered through here. I think the reason being is because we don't need to see this, life as a Syrian refugee, because we can clearly see it right here. Some of the other areas definitely blow those up. Again, another good infographic. I think the headlines are fine the way they are. This is actually a very, very good infographic, and the reason being is this is strong right here because you've got the grill. This is really strong. Good idea there. Okay, and so and then you have design and stories the same as on the front. So again, center aligned, so you're killing your negative space. All right, so those would be my comments and recommendations. I didn't mean to take 13 minutes, but I did want to give you a pretty thorough idea of what a portfolio reviewer or a potential hiring professional is going to be thinking while they're looking at this. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm starting classes tomorrow, so I'm going to be kind of busy, and that's why I said earlier, I'm not sure when your interview is, but I'll definitely work with you. So if, time provided, I have to concentrate on my classes, which start tomorrow. So keep that in mind. All right? Thanks, man.